Today we're talking about something that on the surface sounds tiny, almost petty, but underneath it sits something pretty big. Something that touches your time, your energy, your business, your relationships, and the way you move through the world. Today we're talking about obligation. And I want to start us with a story. I am what I call a polite ghoster. Not in a dramatic way, not in a cutting people off way, just in a simple, intentional way. I have not had an alcoholic drink in 15 years. And very early on, I learned something about parties. When people are drinking, living becomes this full production. You try to slip out and suddenly it's one more drink, one more story, one more hug, one more dance, one more, you can't go yet. Drives me insane. And before you know it, your peaceful night has turned into an obligation marathon. So I stopped. I stopped doing the big goodbye routine. When I'm ready, I quietly leave, I head home, I make a cup of tea, I check on the kids, I read my book, and I go to sleep at a reasonable hour. It's not dramatic, it's not passive aggressive, and it simply works for me. We have a cabin by the beach in a small laid-back community. People drift in and out of each other's spaces. Sometimes we eat together, sometimes we wander down the beach, sometimes we peel off and do our own thing. It is easy and relaxed. And for 6 years, my rhythm has always been the same. I love the chats, I enjoy the company, and when I'm done, I go back to our cabin and I settle in. This New Year's Eve, one of my neighbours called me out in front of everyone. She asked me why I was so rude for not saying goodbye. Oh, shock horror. Apparently, I had not said goodbye in November, 6 weeks earlier. And what struck me was not the comment itself, but what was sat underneath it. What she was really asking was for me to behave differently in my own holiday time, to move in a way that made her feel more comfortable, to perform a version of myself that suited her expectations. I'm not a people pleaser. I do not live in obligation, and that absolutely bamboozles some people. And that's okay, because this is not about being rude. It's about being true. And when you start thinking from truth rather than obligation, people who are comfortable with obligation, they can find that confronting. So today, I want to pull this apart with you, not just in social settings, in business, in leadership, in motherhood, in community, in friendships, because obligation often hides inside very polite packaging. Obligation often disguises itself as politeness. Be nice, stay longer, explain yourself, don't make it awkward, just pop in, just help out, just one more call, just one more favour. On the surface, it looks harmless. It sounds reasonable, it feels like good manners, but over time, those tiny overrides, they add up. You stay on the Zoom call longer than you want to. You discount your price because it feels uncomfortable to hold it. You say yes to the coffee catch-up that drains you. You volunteer for the thing because no one else wants to. You reply to messages at 9 p.m. because you do not want to seem unhelpful. And slowly your life becomes shaped around what makes other people comfortable. Here's a reflection for you. Where are you saying yes out of politeness rather than truth? And what is that even costing you? Because every yes that is not aligned to taking up space in your calendar and your nervous system. Resentment is a warning light. Let's talk about resentment. That low-grade irritation, that flatness, that exhaustion that sleep does not fix. Resentment is not a personality flaw, ladies. It is data. It is what happens when you repeatedly abandon yourself, when you stay longer than you want to, when you over-explain, when you shrink, when you keep bending. Resentment says you have crossed your own boundary. And most women I work with do not need better time management. They need better boundary management. In business, this shows up everywhere. You start dreading certain clients. You feel annoyed before meetings even begin. You feel heavy about offers you once loved. And instead of asking, where have I overextended? You tell yourself, you just need to try harder. No. Resentment is an invitation. It is asking, where have you stepped away from your own rhythm? What are you currently tolerating that quietly drains your energy? Be honest. Is it a client? Is it a pricing structure, a recurring commitment, a friendship dynamic, a family expectation? Because resentment is a teacher. If you listen early, it whispers. And if you ignore it, it shouts. You are allowed to choose your own rhythm. The older I get, the more I realize that I already have everything I need to live well. Peace, choice, trust, self-trust, discernment, and I do not need to earn those things through performance. You do not owe your time, your energy, or your presence to anyone beyond what you freely choose to give. You are allowed to leave when your body says it's time. You are allowed to structure your days in a way that nourish you. You are allowed to have boundaries that only need to make sense to you. And yes, some people will not understand that. Some people are comfortable with obligation, and it's how they organize their world. So when you step out of it, it can feel destabilizing to them. But your job is not to stabilize other people's discomfort at the expense of your own peace. Your job is to live aligned. So let me ask you this. What would change in your life if you trusted your own rhythm a little more? Would you finish work earlier? Would you charge differently? Would you host fewer events? Would you leave the party without fanfare? Would you finally stop over-explaining your decisions? Let's get practical, because this is not just philosophy. This is leadership. I want you to run a simple obligation audit. Open your calendar for the next 4 weeks. I'll wait. Circle or highlight anything that feels heavy before it even happens. And ask yourself, did I choose this or did I default into it? If it is default, can it be renegotiated, shortened, delegated, or removed? Practice clean exits. This is one of my favorites. Instead of long explanation, practice short statements. I'm heading off now. That won't work for me. I'm not available for that. I'm keeping that time free. Woof. No essays, no over-explaining, no story. Clean exits build self-trust. Watch your pricing and your hours. Obligation often shows up in undercharging and over-delivery. Are you saying yes to work because you feel you should? Are you keeping offers open that drain you? Are you available 24/7 because you want to be the good one? Boundaries in business protect your creativity. I need you to separate kindness from self-abandonment. You can be generous without being exhausted. You can be thoughtful without being depleted. You can be kind without being available at all times. Check your motive. Am I giving freely or am I giving to avoid some discomfort? You might need to expect pushback, and also don't personalize it. When you stop living in obligation, some people will notice. They might question you. They might label you. They might feel uncomfortable. Let them. Their discomfort does not mean you are wrong. It means the pattern has changed. I want to leave you with this. You are not here to be convenient. You are not here to be endlessly available. You are not here to smooth out every social wrinkle. You are here to be true to your rhythm, to your energy, to your work, to your life. And if that means you quietly leave the party when you're ready, then quietly leave the party. Make your tea, check on your people, read a book, sleep well. That's not rude. That's aligned. And alignment will always matter more than obligation. And if this is a conversation that hits you right in the pricing or the over-delivering, the people-pleasing part of your business, that is exactly the work we do in Revenue Raiser. Doors are open until 25th of February. It's where we clean up the numbers, we strengthen your sales, and we build a business that pays you properly without you bending yourself out of shape to make it work. And if you've been nodding your head and laughing along, chances are you know someone like this. Please pass this episode on to someone who needs it, who needs to give themselves permission to choose themselves. Until next time, I choose peace. You choose peace too. And by the way, my friend from the cabin, she realised this. She realised that it was all her, and she reached out and apologised later. We are all good. It's not about that story. It's about what comes next.